Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony Wall Street Trader. It's 12:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, October 16th, 2021. This is not financial advice. It's educational. Click the subscribe and the bell to be notified when these videos come out. And click the thumbs up and share the video with your friends and colleagues who are interested in Nucypher and the greatness of Nucypher and its related price action. I do other cryptos as well. Intraday updates are on that Twitter link below the video in the event you're interested in intraday thoughts of the market. Now, Nucypher US dollar. We're just going to do a quick, brief history of time just so everyone understands where we've been in the past. So clearly, going into my current situation, my personal current situation has been I had 100% dedicated to Nucypher in the past. I had then added another 25% on top of it, taking a much bigger risk at the point when Nucypher's price was around 21 cents. So I was a little bit more on the risk side, but I felt the reward would be better, and I'm glad I did that. Now, we went from 39 cents was my price, my average price based on all this stuff over here, and I wound up selling it last night for around 191. It's a 500% gain. Now, you might be saying, well, this thing's a $4 stock. Well, that's great. But right now, 500% is a meaningful point in time to de-risk what's only been happening for one whole day. And if it doubles from here, great. But I already got 5 times my money versus 2 times my money. So I think that, the risk reward right now for me personally is to take it off the table and then, let things settle and see where things lie. Because the price action's too new for me, just given the amount of uptick that we've got. Furthermore, when we did our end-of-year prediction, we had a range between 72 cents to $1.70, and we have certainly blown past 170. In fact, we hit a high of around $2.36 last night. So I think that, it's okay to de-risk here. It's like, yeah, we love Nucypher. But I think over the long term, it will be a great investment. But right now, I think it's, for myself, it's good to take some off the table. In fact, I took it all off the table because 500% for me is, it takes the stock market many years to get to a point to make 500%. So this is a good point for me. And in fact, if you'd like to take a look at this year-end prediction video that I did back on May 30th, you can see it on that YouTube link. I'll post that below the video as well in the description so that you can understand kind of a little more familiarity with the company. Speaking about familiarity with the company, look at this. Familiarity with the company. This shows you that Nucypher, this article here is right on one thing, and I'll tell you where it's wrong. Nucypher, on this investmentu.com link where they talk about Nucypher's recent price action, which was yesterday around 4:11, they're talking about the fact that Nucypher is very unknown. And also the fact that most people are not aware of what Nucypher is. Well, the use case of Nucypher, as they quote here, is all about spies and secret agents. Okay, let me be very clear about something for all of you to understand about Nucypher. This goes well beyond spies and secret agents, period, end of story. Encryption is a well-known feature and necessity of every technology integration, especially when you're going on a decentralized network. You better have encryption. These guys not only have built that encryption, but they built it with their own bare hands. What does that mean? They built it from the ground up. And not only that, but they've actually built it in a way that they're not leveraging third-party tools like trusted execution engines on an Intel chip. They're using the actual core foundational aspects of the technology that they built it. So they're not leveraging third-party stuff. But my other point is this. This was the elephant in the room. Nucypher has always been. This was my first crypto I covered because I'm like, why is nobody talking about Nucypher? My first video on this was called New Bet on Nucypher. We did it back in, April or so. My very first video probably sounded terrible. But we were talking about it, and I've been covering this ever since on a daily, almost a daily basis. But I just want everyone to see the greatness of Nucypher, and I'm so happy for those that have made their money back, as well as the many that have gained. Anyway, so that's kind of my backdrop on everything. Not to mention, by the way, this is the first merger and acquisition, and the real reason for its pop probably had to do with the fact that Nucypher's T network is finally coming out. People are aware. I think many people were not aware of it, as well as knowing that, this is not just for spies and agents. This goes with every company I can think of that has a consumer base, from medical out down to, investment banks, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my point, and I'm just glad we got there. Now, this price action is very short-lived right now. So we have, since October 15th to now, we are actually, it's only a day and change. So it's really hard to gauge this in the overall scheme of things. If you look at the price action we had a couple of days ago, we were down here. We were down to 28 cents. So look, this was definitely the elephant in the room, and I cover other ones too. I think there's other elephants in the room out there, but this was my biggest elephant in the room for sure. And I'm just finally glad it's got the recognition that it's always deserved. And furthermore, that all of you have gotten your rewards if you are a Nucypher holder. And if you're not, it's okay too. This is not going to be the only one out there. There are multiple cryptos out there that will easily moonlight this one. Now let's go take a look over at Nucypher US dollar. Let's go slightly longer term, just to get a view for all of you in terms of what's going on here. So let me just hide these lines. So we had talked about a broadening wedge way back here. Remember, I've always talked about this broadening wedge as a very bullish sign that should meet us back up to here, actually, 90 cents. Well, we really broke it. In fact, I had 3 end-of-year predictions that we just talked about, and I put them in stars on the right, which is part of that video. Again, I'll post that at the bottom of the, in the description. But I've always maintained that this broadening wedge, descending broadening wedges are very, very bullish. And this was a really long-term broadening wedge. It wasn't like, a couple of months. This was going back since March. So we knew at some point this was supposed to bounce to at least 90. My year-end prediction was Bitcoin. My midpoint prediction was $1.16 for Nucypher, with the high end of my prediction at 170. So there was no reason for me not to take it off the table. Some people would take 80%. Some people, look, I was honestly thinking layering out. But the reality here is this. Nucypher is a long-term investment, but I think that there might be other shorter-term opportunities to get back in. If I got back in right now, I'd definitely reduce my cost basis. But I think we may have some more wood to chop until I see this price action finalized. Now, let's take a look at the recent price action in Nucypher. Here we are, straight up. Now we're starting to cut through this line. This is 1 day, by the way. So it's not an ideal situation. We don't have a longer term view, but this is obviously in the works of working through. I think that right now we may start seeing a little bit more of a dip, but I've been surprised before. Obviously, been very surprised last night. I was expecting again $1.16 by the end of the year. Christmas came early, so looking like a dippy do here. I'm not sure if we might go down. This is too hard to tell at this point, but we're going to find out soon enough. In the meantime, Nucypher Bitcoin. Wow, we went from clearly Nucypher strength was in the house. So let's just go here. I had a prediction of 1,700 for Nucypher by the end of the year, and now we're at 2466. Bitcoin not 80,000 yet, although I think it's going to get there. Now Bitcoin over here really just hitting that green line, and for all of you new folks, I've been talking about this green line on many of my past videos. that this is going to be the target for Bitcoin. And I still maintain that. And a lot of people have said no. Well, we've had a couple of identical patterns that we've been able to see over the past couple of months. And we've predicted this burst out on Bitcoin. And we predicted it from 40,000. Now we're already 60,000, hitting a high of 62,000. On the Bitcoin dominance pair, I think we're going to wind up possibly shaking down a little bit. Depends if the ETF really comes out or not. Should be interesting. But anyway, I just want everyone to know I'll continue to do these videos for now, but it will be there will be very short-term price actions. I prefer to stay with things that have a slightly longer period of time. This thing has just mooned to a point where it's harder to see the next leg up. When I've already achieved my end of year prediction of $1.16 was my medium case, 72 cents was my low case, and $1.70 was my upper end. So I got out, I think, at the right time. But good luck to all of you who think it will continue to go higher. I